Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're doing something a bit different. We're focusing our magnifying glass on just one source.
A single professional profile, right. Niladree Bhattacharjee's.
Exactly. And our mission today, for you listening, is to go beyond just the bullet points and the dates.
Yeah, to really unpack the story here.
Yeah.
Over 14 years of experience.
We want to pull out the key insights, what it really takes to thrive as a tech leader today.
Because it's more than just a list of jobs, isn't it? It's like a blueprint.
A blueprint for career growth, adapting skills, making a real impact. We're doing this deep dive especially for you, based on the profile you shared.
It's actually remarkable how much you can learn from a well-structured profile like this one.
You really can.
It lets you connect the dots, doesn't it, between roles, tech, different industries. You see the bigger picture.
How that expertise builds up and gets used.
Which brings up a question right away, I think. For you, the listener, how does someone go from software engineer to this? Data and AI-driven technology leader and mentor.
Especially across different kinds of companies.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this journey then. The profile introduces Niladree Bhattacharjee as a technology and delivery lead based in London, over 14 years in the field.
And right away, that data and AI-driven tag stands out.
It does. Plus, the experience in both startups and big multinational corporations, MNCs.
So if you step back and look at that mixed startup speed and MNC scale,
What did that tell you?
well, it shouts adaptability, doesn't it? Being able to navigate really different company cultures, different levels of process, different kinds of challenges.
That feels crucial for tech leadership today.
It's a hallmark, really.
Okay, let's trace it from the start.
Mm.
The journey kicks off back in 2011. Software engineer at Wipro Infotech.
Standard starting point for many.
Then moves through various Android developer roles. Companies like DSD IT, Lunar Altitude.
So a clear early focus on Android, building that solid technical base. You need that foundation.
Definitely.
But here's where it gets interesting, I think. Pretty early on, there's a role at the British Library.
Right, software developer for web archiving, using Scala.
Exactly, Scala. That's a shift away from just mobile. It suggests, broader interests, maybe exploring different tech avenues quite early.
That's a really good point. When you see someone branch out like that, beyond their main thing early on, what does that signal? Right. About their mindset?
Oh, it signals a lot, adaptability for sure, but also a proactive approach to learning. Tech changes so fast, right?
Instantly.
So the best leaders aren't just experts in one thing, they're expert learners. This move suggests someone willing to step outside their comfort zone, acquire new skills, which you absolutely have to do as you move up.
Makes sense. Okay, moving into the 2017-2020 timeframe. Clear progression here. Senior Android developer, then lead Android developer.
Yep, climbing the ladder within that specialization.
And a significant chunk of time over 2 years at Costa Coffee. Started as senior Android dev, became the lead.
Okay, Costa, big consumer brand. What was the scope there?
Responsible for both the app customers use and the order management system app for the stores.
Ah, so both sides of the counter, essentially.
Pretty much. Duties included new features, code optimization, integration, architecture, turning user stories into actual features, technical implementation setup.
So hands-on technical leadership.
Yes, but also crucial collaboration. Working closely with designers, stakeholders on UX improvements, and the QA team for testing.
See, that's what jumps out at me from that Costa period. The full life cycle involvement.
Right.
It's not just coding. It's the architecture, the user experience, managing stakeholders. It shows a really holistic grasp of product development.
Beyond just the tech execution.
Exactly. So for you listening, the question becomes, what challenges or insights pop up when you own a product from the idea stage right through to deployment and getting that user feedback?
Sounds like juggling a lot.
It is.
Then, April 2020, a very specific and pretty impactful project pops up at Wi-Fi Spark as lead Android developer.
Okay, what was it?
Creating a utility app using Samsung Knox, Samsung's secure platform.
Yeah, for enterprise and security.
Right. This app could wipe all personal data off a Samsung tablet with just one tap.
Okay, why? What was the use case?
It was for tablets used by patients for communication and other services. And crucially, it was also used for COVID-19 patients under the NHS during the pandemic.
Wow. Okay, so data privacy and security in a healthcare setting during a crisis.
Exactly. A single tap to ensure the device was clean for the next patient.
Looking at the bigger picture, that Wi-Fi Spark NHS project, it's not just about technical skill, is it?
No, definitely not.
It's about delivering something with immediate, tangible impact. in a critical sector like healthcare during a global crisis. That speaks volumes.
Problem solving under serious pressure.
Immense pressure.
Yeah.
And using tech for, immediate societal good.
So when you look at a project like that, built, under the shadow of the pandemic,
Hmm.
what does that tell you about the leader who can deliver that under those conditions?
It tells you they're good at navigating ambiguity and ruthless prioritization.
You have to be right.
Absolutely. High-pressure situations demand clear vision, efficient execution, and often real empathy for the end user, especially when lives are affected.
That project really seems to underline building securely and ensuring privacy in a sensitive space.
Definitely. Okay, so where does the journey go next?
The bulk of the recent experience over 5 years now is at A&D Digital,
A&D Digital, right.
and you see rapid progression through different leadership roles there. Lead Android developer, mobile lead, technical delivery manager, tech and delivery lead, and currently technology lead.
Wow, okay, that's quite a trajectory within one company, staying for over 5 years and moving up consistently like that.
What does that signal to you?
Well, it's not just loyalty. It signals deep trust built within the organization and significant contribution, obviously.
They keep giving more responsibility.
Exactly. It's a great example of growing with a company, leveraging internal opportunities for bigger impact. For you, listener, it underlines how building long-term relationships and really understanding an organization can accelerate leadership growth.
And then we get into some really interesting specific achievements at A&D Digital.
Okay, let's hear them.
Led the planning, development, delivery of Android and iOS SDKs.
Okay, software development kits for other developers to use.
Right. For an e-commerce social proofing platform, working with a remote team.
Remote teams add complexity. What about the quality?
Get this, 100% documentation, static code analysis, so automated quality checks,
Yeah.
99% code coverage,
99%. That's serious testing. Very robust.
strong authentication, helpful sample apps too. Sounds like really high-quality engineering.
That focus on quality 100% docs, 99% coverage is striking. It's not just about shipping fast. It's about building something solid, maintainable, scalable. That's mature leadership.
Then there's unblocking production releases by meeting compliances, using Expo, React Native.
So dealing with the practicalities of modern app development frameworks and their requirements, keeping things stable and up to date.
Critical work, plus advising on platform integrations for better error logging and analytics.
So thinking about the whole operational side too. Visibility, monitoring, important stuff.
But then the role that really caught my eye, technical delivery manager.
Okay.
Managed 3 teams, 2 on-site, 1 remote, peaking at 30 members.
30 people, that's a significant management scope.
And responsible for release management, get this frequency, 2 front-end and 2 back-end releases per week.
Wow, that's a high cadence, requires incredibly smooth process.
And on top of that, successfully pushed, and this is quoted, a highly critical £1 million digital transformation project to success.
£1 million, high stakes.
Within a very tight deadline. Through strategic planning, risk mitigation, communication, stakeholder management, reporting, the works.
Okay, this is where you really see that shift, from leading tech to leading strategic delivery.
Big leap.
Huge. Managing 30 people, multiple locations that release frequency, and landing a massive critical project on time. That's not just about technical chops anymore. It's serious project management, strategic thinking, and, crucially, people leadership. It shows how you scale impact from being a great individual contributor to being a real force multiplier for the organization.
That rapid progression, managing those high-stakes projects, it's clearly impressive. But, from your experience, what are some of the typical challenges or maybe pitfalls of scaling leadership that quickly, especially within one company with that kind of release pressure?
That's a really important question, because while it shows huge trust, scaling fast like that often means navigating increased political complexity. Stakeholder expectations balloon.
Right.
And you've got to maintain your technical understanding while shifting your main focus to broader strategy and people. The big risk is always spreading yourself too thin.
Burning out.
Or just losing effectiveness. So effective delegation, building strong, empowered teams underneath you, that becomes absolutely critical. The fact that Niladree sustained this growth suggests a real knack for managing that difficult balance.
Makes sense. Okay, let's look beyond the roles for a second. The profile lists top skills. We see Angular, Spring Boot, Salesforce.
Interesting mix. Angular and Spring Boot are common in web application development. Salesforce is CRM.
Alongside the Android, Java, Kotlin we'd expect. But also GCP, AWS,
Cloud platforms, essential.
and Flutter, React Native.
Cross-platform mobile frameworks. So this whole list paints a picture of a really diverse tech toolkit.
It's broad.
It's not just knowing many languages, it's understanding different architectures, cloud environments, front-end, back-end, mobile. For you, listener, this versatility is key. Modern tech leaders need to grasp how different stacks work together. Choose the right tool for the job. It allows for much better strategic tech decisions, leading across a wider range of challenges.
The summary also mentions extensive experience managing big teams, agile delivery, coaching, and mentoring,
So the people and process side explicitly called out.
and working with big brands across different time zones, designing and building products for UK and Asian markets.
Ah, the international dimension. That's significant.
Plus, the public sector work we saw, British Library, NHS.
So now the picture gets really holistic, doesn't it? International exposure, UK, Asia, private sector brands, public sector bodies.
It's a very well-rounded perspective.
It has to be. You encounter different regulations, different user expectations, different team dynamics. That broad lens really sharpens a leader's problem-solving skills because they've seen a wider range of problems and solutions.
And tying back to the start, that data and AI-driven summary, it's backed up by specific recent certifications.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Hands-on essentials, data warehousing workshop, AWS partner, cloud economics accreditation.
Okay, practical cloud and data skills.
Then, what is generative AI? Everybody's introduction to Snowflake. And is Snowflake's sales professional accreditation.
Snowflake, major cloud data platform, and generative AI. So really current stuff.
Right. This commitment to getting certified, especially in hot areas like Gen AI and data warehousing like Snowflake, it's not just padding the profile.
No, it shows a proactive drive to stay current, to understand the enabling technologies. It underlines that continuous learning mindset we talked about, absolutely vital for a leader who wants to stay relevant.
And one last detail, language skills. Hindi and Bengali listed as native or bilingual. English as full professional.
That's interesting, too, especially thinking about the UK and Asian market experience mentioned earlier.
How so?
Well, being proficient in multiple languages, particularly ones relevant to those markets, can be a huge advantage in managing diverse teams and working across time zones. It helps bridge cultural gaps, improves communication, makes leading across boundaries more effective.
Right. It reinforces that global leadership capability.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. What does this deep dive into Niladree Bhattacharjee's profile mean for you, our listener?
Yeah.
What's the story of a modern tech leader here?
Well, it clearly shows a career isn't just a straight lineup, is it?
No, it's dynamic. It's about evolving skills, making strategic moves, seeing tangible impact from your work.
And it highlights that it's not just about the deep tech skills. Yes, you need that foundation.
But strong leadership, delivery management, that constant learning, they're just as critical.
Absolutely. We saw how specific achievements, building high-quality SDKs, leading those huge digital transformation projects really define the trajectory.
So, zooming out a bit, this profile really illustrates that modern tech leader's path, doesn't it?
It does. Someone who starts with deep technical expertise.
Like Android development.
Right. And then broadens out to strategic delivery, managing complex projects, diverse teams, leveraging the latest tech.
It really is a journey of constant growth and adaptation.
Which leads to, I think, a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Considering Niladree's path from that focused Android work to overseeing these massive multi-million-pound transformations, what core mindset shifts or maybe deliberate practices do you think were the most crucial in bridging that gap? The gap between deep technical skill and broad strategic leadership.
And maybe, how can you start cultivating those things yourself today?
Yeah. Exactly. Something to think about.